Welcome back to another episode of Hep Huddle. If you're finding value in these weekly videos, please subscribe. I'd also love to get an email from you or a text what topics are on your mind, what questions are on your mind. If you don't find value in these videos, what are you watching this for right now? I'm not sure, but I hope you find value. I hope you share. You already know the intent of these videos. We're trying to drive dollar per rep and owner profitability and add value for your personal growth. So today we're going to be discussing something really important, obviously, your communication skills, right? When you think about it, what skills can you get throughout your entire life that are more important than your ability to communicate? So years ago, I read this book, John Maxwell, Winning with People, and it's really John's version of how to win friends and influence people. He says he read that book as a teenager, and this is his version of that book. So if you're a big John Maxwell fan, you might want to read that book. And so he makes the argument in the book that there is nothing more important in the world of skills than really harnessing your ability to communicate with people. Your whole life you're going to be involved with people, right? I mean, he says, think of the saddest moment in your life. Just close your eyes, think of the saddest moment. Close your eyes, think of the happiest moment in your life. And both of those memories, they're associated with people. So we have to be great communicators with people. And so over the years, we hear people saying, Jamie, the field has really taught me how to be a great communicator. And when you break that down, what does that mean? Well, first of all, your ability to listen to people is huge. None of us have taken classes throughout elementary, high school, or college on how to be a great listener. Think about that. You've taken classes on how to read, you've taken classes on how to write, but have you ever taken a class on how to really listen? And so I think the field teaches you how to listen because customers know if you're not listening to them, they're gone. They're not going to spend any time with somebody who's just talking at them, trying to sell at them. You got to be a great listener. And then when you break down your ability to talk, okay, so it's one thing to listen, now it's your turn to talk. How do you talk so you can have some influence in your communication? That's really today's topic, is how can you influence when you communicate? And so many people, from Tony Robbins, I first heard this from Tony Robbins, and I've back tested it with what several people say. Psychologists around the world would say, Tony is onto something. They would agree with him. And he says there's really 3 areas that make up your ability to influence when you communicate. And that's what we're going to discuss here today. So we're going to break this down in a pie chart. Okay. So there's really 3 elements that make up this pie chart here. Again, your ability to influence other people when you're speaking, when you're communicating. And so the first area, which is just really a sliver of the pie chart, it's really 7% of your ability to influence somebody, is your words. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, I remember as a new person coming in, I put such big emphasis to the new people on, hey, you got to memorize the pitch. Make sure you come in tomorrow with the pitch memorized. And when you think about it, if somebody really does memorize the pitch, well, the words, right? The words only make up 7% of your ability to influence a customer. So why do we put such big emphasis on the words? There's 93% in other areas that we should be discussing, but let's just start with the words. Are the words important? Yes, they are. They do make up 7%, but there are 2 other areas in this pie chart that have a much bigger impact on your ability to effectively communicate. But the words are important. They do make up 7%. So let's not dismiss that. It's just not what most people would think. I think most people would be like, the words, when you're selling to somebody, when you're trying to influence somebody, man, you better be spot on with the words. You better be spot on with the pitch. Not so much. 7% words. All right, the next area of this pie chart is your voice fluctuation or tonalities. Another way to look at it is it's not what you say, it's how you say it, right? So the words are one thing, how you say the words are another. So when I think of how I've designed pitches over the years, or you're starting a new campaign and you're like, okay, so I gotta draft up a pitch here. there are certain key words in a pitch, words like free. You can't just say the word free in the pitch. You got to say free. You got to put some emphasis, some voice fluctuation goes up on key words like that, or words like awesome. Like, you're not going to say that all quiet. So there are times in the pitch to be quiet and soft spoken. There's other times to be louder, right? But voice fluctuation or tonalities make up 38% of your ability to influence somebody. So again, it's not necessarily what you say, it's how you say it. The last part, and the most influential part, 55% of your ability to influence. What could it be? What are you thinking of? Like, okay, the words, 7%, tonalities, voice fluctuation, 38%. Well, what makes up the majority of your ability to influence? And the answer is your body language, or as Tony Robbins would put it, your neurolinguistics, the nonverbal communication. Here I am talking with my hands a little bit. So in the field, I learned to talk with my hands, but most of your body language is going to come from your face. Do your eyebrows go up? I remember when I was practice pitching in the mirror, it became very clear to me why everybody was rejecting me in the field. I'm like, I wouldn't buy off the guy. I looked angry, just like I'm looking right now. I look frustrated. How can you possibly sell when you look frustrated? Like, look inviting, right? So your body language is super important. So I'm thinking of, over the years, some of the pitches that we've designed. And I remember with Quill, we had so much fun with this. We're like, okay, let's incorporate the body language. This is super important. So, hey, you're paying retail prices. And so as we're talking to customers, we'd stretch and we'd put our arm up. You're paying retail prices. Then we've got warehouse-based prices, and we put our arms nice and low. So we're giving a visual. We're creating some body language for the customers to take a good look at. So your body language is 55% of your ability to influence. So there you go. The 3 elements of influence when you're communicating: your words, your voice fluctuation, and your body language, right? You want to put them all together. So as you're really creating the pitch, right, or as a student, you're learning the pitch, you want to pepper those 3 things into the pitch. I want to start with getting the words. What are the words to the pitch? Let's follow the high rollers, see what they're doing. Let me get the tonalities in that pitch, right? Let me get the body language in that pitch. Just solidify, get a masterpiece, and just repeat. Get in the habit of following those 3 things in the world of influence with a structured pitch. I'm not saying to deviate from what's working. Follow the pitch, right? Follow the 5 steps, obviously. But once you really get this stuff going, you're going to learn, man, this is second nature. It's going to become a habit for you. It's going to become a skill for you. And you'll become a great communicator, no question about it. So again, big value in learning sales is how to effectively communicate. How do I use my ears? How do I really listen, right? Really, really hard to offer suggestions to people and solutions for people if you're not using your ears. So we could run a whole nother episode on how to be a great listener. But really, what can I do to be an effective communicator and effective speaker?